Hello, this is Roy. It is the morning after the event, and we're currently on our way to the New York Korean Evangelical Church. I arrived early for rehearsal, and a church staff member kindly showed me a wall displaying photographs of the Korean War veterans, sharing the story behind each one. Each image carried a powerful weight, as if their devotion and sacrifice were still present in the room. It was deeply moving.
George, Danny's here now. Only, we're the only three left as the officers.
Soon after, Rami, the photographer, arrived. He had brought a number of items, including a printer and picture frames, so I helped him carry and set everything up. Later, I had the honor of collecting signatures from Korean War veterans on the American flag. The flag already held the names, units, and years of service of the many veterans Rami had met over the years. What struck me most was how clearly these veterans, despite the passage of more than 70 years, remembered their unit names, roles, and dates of service. Watching them carefully and confidently write each word was incredibly powerful. I could so clearly see them reminiscing, it felt like the past was brought back to life. There was also a helmet being signed that day, an authentic US military helmet used during the Korean War, which Rami had found on eBay. Holding that piece of history while watching the veterans sign it gave me goosebumps. Soon, all the veterans were seated, and the event began with a prayer from the pastor. The atmosphere was solemn and reverent, and I quietly collected myself. When the pastor introduced me, I stepped forward with a nervous heart. It was my first time standing in front of so many Korean War veterans, and I could feel my palms sweating. My heart was pounding, but more than anything, I felt incredibly honored to be there, and I reminded myself to sing with gratitude.
Hello. I won't take much of your time, man. It was a very busy day today. My name's Roy. I'm in high school still. I'm a junior. I'm 18. And I flew in from California yesterday. It was a red flag. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proud?
As I began to sing the U.S. national anthem, the veterans quietly rose to their feet. Though many were elderly, they stood tall and steady, placing their hands over their hearts and singing with unwavering pride. It wasn't just a ceremonial gesture, it was a glimpse into the duty and honor they had carried their entire lives. In their eyes, I saw memories come alive, the faces of fellow soldiers, the sound of the battlefield, and the pride of serving their country. I was overwhelmed. For those few minutes, it felt like time stood still, and I found myself holding back tears in the face of something truly sacred.
Gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say, oh,
I then sang the South Korean national anthem. For me, it was far more than just a patriotic song. As a Korean standing in that place, singing that anthem, it hit me that I was doing so only because of the sacrifices of the very people in front of me. I suddenly realized again the Korea I know today. Its freedom, its prosperity was not built easily. It was built on the blood, courage, and sacrifice of those who traveled across the world to fight for a country that wasn't even their own. Each word of the anthem weighed heavily on my heart. It was no longer just lyrics, but a message of gratitude. If not for their service, I wouldn't be here. I would not have been born to a free Korea, much less be able to sing that song. That performance was my heartfelt tribute, a quiet thank you in the form of a melody. After the performance, we moved on to taking photos. Watching Rami at work was inspiring. He guided each veteran with care, helping them pose and capturing the best of their spirit and presence. He has clearly spent years doing this, and his respect for each individual showed in every frame. After the group photo was taken, Rami kindly invited me to join the veterans for a picture. Though I hadn't said anything, it was something I had quietly hoped for. Standing among them shoulder to shoulder, I was overwhelmed by emotion. To be even briefly included among those who had shaped history was more than I could have hoped for. That single photograph became one of the most meaningful moments of my life. Just being present in that moment was an honor I will never forget. Unfortunately, I had to leave early due to my flight. When I mentioned that I had flown from California as a volunteer, many of the attendees responded warmly, saying how proud they were of me. I was so touched by their words and incredibly thankful. As I said goodbye to the pastor who had graciously invited me, I began the quiet trip back to Newark Airport, reflecting deeply on what the day had meant to me. This journey made me realize that I hadn't come here just to sing. I had come to stand humbly in the presence of history and in the presence of the people who lived it. Their voices were not found in books or documentaries. They were in their eyes, their hands, their quiet laughter and steady grace. Standing before them, I felt a deep sense of reverence and responsibility. What I had once seen as a performance became something greater, a calling. I now understand that my role is not only to sing, but to help share these stories, to ensure that their sacrifice is not forgotten, and to pass this legacy on to others. To live in the freedom they protected, and to be someone who never takes that for granted, that is the gift this journey gave me. And that, I believe, is the path I am meant to walk from here on.